Bellator 259 fight week, the one of the women's GOATs back in action, Chris Cyborg Scott. How excited are you for this rematch against Leslie Smith?
Well, I tell you, it's you're talking about the greatest female fighter of all time. When you talk about Chris Cyborg, and you talk about the body of work that she's accomplished in her career. I think it's been like a 16-year career, and she still looks great. I mean, she still looks amazing and still dominant. And Leslie, I think, took the fight on last minute notice last time, so she was at a disadvantage. This time she had a complete camp to train, and Gilbert's been saying a lot of good things about her, and she's been training with Carrie, his wife, and they're excited. They want this fight bad. So to me, I wish them both luck, and it's gonna be a barn burner.
Yeah, and not the only women's fight on the main card. When we woke up this morning, it was going to be, but Valkyrie Loretta getting bumped to the main card. Can you talk about the platform that she has and the decision to move her up when that fight fell off?
Yeah, you know what? When the doctors told us that the fighter couldn't fight earlier today for medical reasons, we went down the list, and we had a meeting with our fight team, and they all felt that Valerie deserved the shot. So we moved her up, and she is a rising star, and her opponent's tough. So let's see what she can deliver tomorrow night. So she's a very young fighter. She has a lot of things going. She's very active on social media, and she's got a big following. But at the end of the day, it's two girls in a cage. They're locking the door, and it's going to be on. So let's see what happens.
In the co-main event, bantamweight fight, Dariush Caldwell, your former champion, moving down in weight, 235 pounds again. Looked great on the scales. Leandro Higo was actually the one that missed weight, but just talk to me about that fight, what it means, and where you think Dariush stands coming back down to 135 pounds.
Yeah, this is the weight class he should be at. DC should be at this weight class, and Higo's a tough guy, and it's going to be a real test for him. We have high hopes for both of them, and this is clearly a fight that's going to have it's going to have implications on the title match. So whoever wins this fight, they'll probably get moved up in the rankings, get a little closer to the title fight. So it's definitely a lot on the line here.
Another fight that probably might have a lot on the line is the Austin Vanderford versus Fabian Edwards at middleweight. Where does middleweight stand right now? I feel like it's kind of stuck. Gegard Mousasi, is there any sort of update on him and when these contenders we can start seeing them challenge for the title again?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of really good fights for Gegard ahead of him, and we have something announced probably by tomorrow, maybe, or maybe early next week. But there's a lot of people that want to fight Gegard, so we have a lot of fights for him lined up, and one of those guys is Romero. He's a guy that might want to move back down to 85 from we're talking to his management, and maybe get a fight or two, and then he also wants to fight for the title. So that 185-pound weight class, once we get going on the series here, we'll have a lot of competition.
Kind of odds and ends here. Chris Cyborg, swinging back to her. A name that's come up a lot when people interview her, when I talk to her, was Kayla Harrison. She's obviously doing her thing in PFL, but as somebody that's into cross promotions, things like that, would you ever see a time where you guys could work something out, or do you think the networks, ESPN, Showtime, would make that impossible?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure what the politics of it would be, but listen, I think Chris right now is the best fighter on the planet. So she's afraid of nobody. Whether it's her or somebody in the UFC, she's like bring it all on. And I think Kayla fights at a different weight class than her right now. So there'd have to be a compromise in weights. But let's see what happens with this fight, and we'll take it from there.
I got to ask you too. Last night, speaking of Showtime, it was announced that Jake Paul will be fighting his next fight on Showtime. I know you've been asked about him ad nauseum, and you've said, "Man, maybe I'll lend one of my guys if he comes over to MMA." Does him being a part of Showtime change that at all for you? Would you be willing maybe to lend and not have that reciprocate?
Well, it's a different landscape now. 24 hours later, right? We love Jake Paul. He's talented athlete. I always said, look, this guy was a high school all-star wrestler in Ohio, big wrestling state, physical. The boxing's getting better and better and better, and they're amazing athletes. So they are going to be a threat either way. When you start fighting, the Ben Askren's of the world, or even some of our guys that are mainly jiu-jitsu guys, it's going to be a problem for them because this guy can really, bring it, as you saw with Ben. So to me, it's like, look, the landscape has definitely changed. We love Jake Paul, and we look forward to having his first fight at Showtime.
Last time you guys were in this building, Bellator 258, I think it was one of the more home run events you've had in the pandemic era. And when we left this building, everybody was talking about Anthony Rumble Johnson. A few days later, it comes out that there was an issue. He got arrested in this building. So I guess kind of give me your take on what happened there from your perspective.
You know, I don't know much about it, to be honest. I mean, what I do know is that, yeah, it happened and they took him. But other than that, I don't know the details of what Anthony said. He's going to make a statement, so I'm sure he'll make a statement soon. You know, we're going to follow the legal process and see, you know, what really happened, because, you know, it's you never know, right, in these situations. So to me, let's see what happens, and then the truth will come out at some point.
Yep, for sure. And I got to ask you too about the tournament timelines. Any further news on the timeline of AJ McKee versus Patricio Pitbull?
Yes, we're gonna try to put that fight together sometime in mid-July. Hasn't, you know, we're still working on a couple of details, but that fight will be happening sometime in the summer.
How excited are you to have fans back here for the next one?
Oh yeah, listen, it's been a long time coming. We're talking about 14, 15 months, and you know, it's going to feel great to have the fans, even a couple thousand, which is what is allowed. I think that it's going to make a big difference, and I think the fighters are going to respond. It's going to be great for TV. It's just going to feel like another step toward things becoming normal.
I know step one is to just get some people in the building, but are you guys, do you have any sort of plan? Like, is it going to be like a slow roll? You guys will increase the attendance, or kind of see how the first couple play out? Or?
Yeah, I mean, in June, really, the 2000 was set by the state, the casino, and you know they were giving us their guidelines, and so in July it changes a little bit. I think it goes up a little bit, and then I think for them it's like August or September. It's fully open here, and then I've been following it in California. I've been following it in New York. So every state has kind of a different rule, it seems like, and so we've been trying to keep on top of everything, and you know. But we look forward to getting back on the road. I mean, I think that, you know, that's one of the things that Bellator did really well, was we were able to go to different stadiums around the country and around the world, actually, and really get the fans engaged and have big events for the fans.
And last question for me on that topic. You guys, back when you were having shows, you kind of had that local ticket seller based model, and recently people have been very impressed with the pandemic era. You guys have had depth. I mean, there's ranked fighters starting off the cards, stuff like that. So what's the future when fans come back? Will you go back to the local ticket sellers, or do you think it will stay with these really deep?
I mean, you know, listen, I don't think there's a big difference, and this is what I mean, because when you talk about a local talent, right, of course he's going to have a fan base, and that's great. But when we were doing Strikeforce, T-Wood was local talent, right? We went to St. Louis, and you know, there's going to be local gems in that marketplace, and that's what we're looking for. So if they're going to fight, yeah, then we have them engaged and the fans come. But at the end of the day, we're looking for the best fighter in that market. And then, you know, DC was the same thing. Luke Rockhold was the same thing. Ronda was, you know, a fighter from Los Angeles. So whenever we would travel, that's you know, we would get them involved. But believe me, when we're out there looking for the next, you know, local fighter, we're looking for the next talent in that marketplace, and that's really what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, good luck with the event tomorrow, Scott. Appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.